Good morning, guys. Going on my morning walk, so I'm gonna go through. Today's a rest day. I'm gonna go through all my meals today with you guys and kind of prep updates and that kind of thing. Just walking to. So this is the view here. A couple laps around the apartment complex, and then I'll get back home and eat breakfast and stuff. But before I come on my walk, I do my check-in photos, send them to coach, and weigh in and that kind of thing. And then I take all my fat loss subs, drink my caffeine, my coffee while I'm walking. So so when I get back to the apartment, I'll go through meal one with you guys, and then some prep updates and that kind of thing. So it'll be the first of many YouTube videos for my prep to the qualifier and the USA Nationals in California. All right, guys, what's up? So meal one, it's gonna be a little breakfast taco, breakfast burrito thing from Publix. Get the onion and bell pepper blend, and I throw that on the pan first. Let that cook a little bit. Then for the wrap, using a whole wheat mission wrap. It's 5 grams of fiber, 22 grams of carbs. So this meal is probably like 250 calories, very small meal, but it's very filling for me, higher in protein. I only have 1 egg with this meal, but I'm doing 3 slices of Jones Canadian bacon to get the lean protein in. And I'll also be using fat-free cheese, a little bit higher in protein. There's no fat in it, so able to put that on there and enjoy some cheese. My fats are very low. I'm doing a high carb day. Been doing high carb days for a while now, so I was kind of switching between the low and high carb days, where my low carb days are a little bit higher in fat, so I could do like 2 eggs. But my high carb days, sticking with 1 egg. Most of my meals are pretty low fat, but I'll go through the rest of the meals the rest of the day as I go through them and cook them, so you guys can see what I'm eating. But yeah, so breakfast, very low calorie, but pretty filling with the high fiber wrap and the protein. So yeah. All right, so pretty much all cooked up. I usually microwave the wrap, and then I'll put the cheese on it, microwave a little bit more, and then I throw it on the pan once everything's kind of cooked. I do my eggs like over easy just because I like the yolk kind of runny, but and I throw a little bit of Cholula hot sauce, chipotle flavor on there. So that's pretty much it for breakfast. Very small meal, but. All right, so breakfast is done. I'll go over some of the supplements I'm taking right now as far as just like health supplements with my breakfast. Taking 2 grams of fish oil, Tudka, 500 milligrams, berberine, 500 milligrams, my multivitamin, and 40 milligrams of telmisartan. So, and telmisartan is a blood pressure medication, but it helps with aldosterone and water retention, that kind of stuff for PEDs, GH, that kind of thing. My blood pressure is always really good even in the off season, but I think anytime that you're using PEDs or GH, I think it's a good idea to have that in, kind of to help with side effects and water retention. In the off-season setting, I threw it in because, if you gain 20 pounds of weight, well, I want to know that it's muscle, not water retention from PEDs. So that's kind of why I had that in there in the first place, and I just kept it in through prep because that's going to help with, as you get closer to the show, differentiating whether you have fat to lose or if it's just water. And if you already have telmisartan in place, then you can kind of eliminate, okay, it's, maybe it's not water retention, it's still fat that we have to lose, so we have to keep dieting and getting some body fat off. So those are some health supplements I'll take. I'll go through the rest of the supplements later because I take some scattered throughout the day and then some at night. But one thing I can say is, just kind of a prep update. So we're 4 weeks out exactly today from the NPC St. Pete Pro / Classic, for Classics for the amateur. There's just a Men's Physique Pro show. It's the first show ever that they're having here. It's in St. Pete. It's at the Coliseum, really close to home, and it just lined up well with my timeline for doing the USA Championships over in California. It's about 4 weeks before then, so I have an extra 4 weeks to get ready for that. And this is the smoothest prep by far. I mean, I've prepped since I've done 2017, 2018, the Nationals, 2018, 2020, the Junior USAs, and the Classic. Then I went back to bodybuilding. I did bodybuilding in 2018 as a lightweight, did bodybuilding as a middleweight, at bottom of middleweight in 2021. And so I think, as far as my package goes, this is the best I've looked, the biggest, the most food I've ever eaten. I think last prep I was having to get down to like 50 grams of carbs on my low carb days, doing like 700 calories of cardio daily, to try to grind to get the last bit of fat off the glutes. And it just seemed like a smaller version of myself too. I felt like, I was doing a lot of things that I should have done, like crashing estrogen and stuff. Estrogen is really important during your fat loss phase to help the conversion of T4 to T3, keep fat loss moving. So I'm basically doing like no cardio. Haven't done cardio in I think 4 or 5 weeks. I was doing like low intensity bike for like the first 3 quarters of prep. I started prep in January. I think we started like 20 weeks out. We pretty much cut that out. I'm maintaining around 10 to 12K steps per day. So, not really pushing activity too high, but it's allowed me to focus a little bit more on my training and recovery from training. And again, I'm eating the most food. I was doing like high-low days for a little while. I was doing like 4 low days, and I was timing those on like rest days and upper body days, and I was doing like high days on leg days. My split was a little bit different. I just changed it up back to like push-pull legs just to cut down some gym time, because I was doing like an upper lower rest. Quads and chest was a weak point, so we had like an extra accessory day for that. Then hamstrings and arms a weak point, had an extra accessory day for that. It was rest, so it was like an 8-day split. But the end of the upper body sessions, because I had like chest, back, shoulders were at like maintenance, I think like 7 sets per week, and back was around 8 to 9 sets per week. But I just towards the end of the session, we're hitting like arms towards the end of the session, some back towards the end of the session. I just couldn't put as much into it, and I wasn't really enjoying the training as far as like progression goes and stuff. Like now that I'm back to like push-pull legs, like I can get in and out of the gym faster, and I can put more into each set and focus on that muscle group. So chest, shoulders, triceps on our push day, or back and biceps, and I can just put a little bit more into it and have a little bit more fun, and I just get it out of the gym a lot faster too. So I think it's helping with managing recovery so far. I mean, this is only like day 4 of the new split, so it's push, pull, legs, rest, and then I'll hit push B, pull B, legs B, and then rest again. But yeah, so I mean, by far the smoothest prep I've ever had. One thing that's different too is utilizing and making sure that your thyroid hormones are in optimal range. And when you start a calorie deficit diet, your thyroid hormone is always going to decline unless you have some kind of HRT in place. Now, in natural athletes, and sometimes you can use refeeds and diet breaks and stuff, but unless you're refeeding and diet breaking every 2 weeks, it's really hard to maintain that T4 to T3 conversion and a good TSH level and that kind of thing. So rather than waiting halfway through prep and pulling blood work and seeing if you need HRT, just throw it in at the beginning of prep, and that's what we did, and we've maintained it, and it's honestly worked out great. I feel the best I've ever felt, not having to do a shit ton of cardio. Fatigue is, right now I'm on all high days. I went back just eating high days. My high days are at 260 grams of protein, 305 carbs, and 50 grams of fat. Last week we had we had 5 refeeds in a row, 2 normal refeeds, which were 440 carbs, and then we added another 150 grams of carbs for 3 days. On top of that, I had a new low weigh-in after the 2 first refeeds of 440 grams of carbs. I added 150 grams of carbs. My weight came up about 5-ish pounds or something like that, but I'm very flat, so it was kind of helping to fill out, especially my back and my chest and stuff. and quads filled back out and stuff like that. So, I mean, we have 4 weeks. I think we have another pound or 2 of body fat to get rid of in like the glutes hams area. And then, you know, my glutes are kind of already striated. So, I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, you're ready early. You can, you know, you should do a show before then, get judges' feedback. No, that's not the plan. You're sticking to the main plan is go to the qualifier, the show that you have planned. Then I have 4 weeks to USA's. And you know, to get ready for that, I get more conditioned or fill out whatever I need to do to kind of solidify a spot, you know, in the top call out there. So, this is the most confidence I've ever had too. Like social media, you know, back then I used to just be on social media all the time and worrying about who I'm competing against. I have no worries about that kind of stuff anymore, just because I put so much work into the off season and I've done everything I needed to do, and this prep has gone so smooth, and I'm looking, I mean, I feel like I look amazing. So, you know, I don't think shape wise, the shape is there. I just need to fill out a little bit leaner and we're there. So yeah, that's pretty much a prep update, and I'll go through the rest of the meals the rest of the day, you know, the rest of the supplements and stuff. But yeah, so yeah, I think that's pretty much it for as like, you know, as far as like prep updates go. But I will go, I will do like a recording with like a training session. Maybe I'll do tomorrow for a push day or a pull day, just to kind of go through some of my training and kind of how we're like managing recovery, how much volume, that kind of thing. You know, that's one other thing that I've been doing differently too, is actually having like a logbook and carrying it with me throughout my workout and looking back at previous workouts to try to beat, you know, surpass reps or surpass weight each week, and, you know, keeping the same technique and same form, making sure form breakdown isn't happening there. So making sure progressive overload is happening. I'm getting stronger, you know, week by week. I don't feel like I'm getting weaker by any means. Again, this is a good amount of food for me. This is by far the smoothest prep, and I feel 100% confident with this qualifier. And then going into USA's, I don't think I'm gonna have a problem. I think this is kind of like my year. I mean, I know everyone says that, but I just, you know, I've gone through a lot of things, moved, got divorced. Financially, business is growing a lot. So as a person, spiritually, business-wise, and with prep, everything's kind of like clicking. Relationship-wise, everything's kind of clicking and everything's improving. And one thing that's different is I've become more religious. I've become more spiritual. I've been praying every day and that kind of thing. I don't go to church as often as I'd like to. I have gone, but one thing is about my personal relationship with God and my spirituality and that kind of thing has substantially like grown. So, and I think as a person too, my organization skills, I was not a very organized person. You know, I used to wake up every morning like, hey, what am I doing today? You know, now I have a calendar, I have things written out, I have things planned ahead, you know, and it helps a lot business-wise too, to be organized. And it's just, you know, as far as stress goes, I don't feel like I have any stress. I mean, going through, like went through a divorce, I moved in the middle of prep, and you know, in the middle of selling a house as well. So it's like all these things are happening, but it's like, or they happened, but none of it has affected me because I have like this mindset of this is my year, this is my goal, this is what I'm going to accomplish, and no one's going to take that away from me. Nobody's going to stand in my way. So yeah. So I think this prep has allowed me to grow, you know, not only spiritually, emotionally, business-wise, financially, and just like in prep, you know, seeing what I can do to bring my best, and this is by far my best. So yeah, I'll keep you guys updated, you know, as we go through prep. Maybe I'll do like a 3-week out video, then 2 weeks out we'll do like a peak week footage and that kind of thing too. But yeah, I'll go through the rest of the meals for the day, and that'll be today's video. It's a rest day. All right, guys, so getting ready for my meal 2. This is usually my pre-workout meal, but it's rest day. So this is one of my higher carb meals. Try to time some, you know, extra carbs before training. So I'll get into the meal in a second, but before I do make that meal, I like to take my creatine and injectable L-carnitine. Really good if you're taking growth hormone. It's very synergistic and helps with insulin sensitivity. Also helps with reducing fatigue buildup, muscle protein breakdown while working out. And you want to have this with your highest carb meal. A lot more bioavailable than oral L-carnitine, and oral L-carnitine is actually a little bit toxic to the body because of the filtration through the liver and everything. So try to avoid taking oral L-carnitine. If you can get injectable L-carnitine, that's the best way to go. Inject intramuscular, you can do subcutaneous, but it tends to kind of build up a lot of knots and stuff if you're doing subcutaneous. So intramuscular, best. It is a buildup over time in the system. So it does take, it's not something that you're gonna feel or anything like that within a week, or it's not something really that you feel. It's just a buildup in the system over time. It helps with fat loss and it helps with side effects from growth hormone, that kind of thing. So yeah, injectable L-carnitine and take my creatine, and then we'll get into the meal. All right, so getting into the meal first. Again, this is a pretty high carb meal, pre-workout meal usually. 20 grams of oats, just to give it some. Give you some fullness with the fiber and keep you feeling a little bit fuller. And I do 1 serving of cream of rice. Pride Foods. This is a creamy peanut butter version. Chocolate brownie is really good. Blueberry muffin. They have unflavored as well, so you can mix it with whey protein, that kind of thing. Why I use Pride Foods is because it contains very little iron. And if you go to the store and buy the orange box of cream of rice, you'll see it's about 78 to 80% of your daily value in iron. And that's 1 serving. So imagine if you're doing more servings than that, it's really gonna clog up your digestion and kind of mess your digestion. So Pride Foods cream of rice, I have my clients use it. I use it. I've been using it for a while, and my clients will tell me the difference within a couple of days of switching over to Pride Foods cream of rice with less bloat, and they went from having a meal that's makes them bloated, they feel uncomfortable, to now it's like their favorite meal of the day. So Pride Foods cream of rice, you can use code Plaza10 to get a discount. They have really good flavors. They have the unflavored, really good price too. And they also have like almond butters and that kind of thing too. They also have, if you use long grain, like enriched white rice, you want to switch over to a rice that has 0 iron and it's not enriched. And they do have white rice that's not enriched, so you can buy that from them too. But yeah, and then so Pride Foods cream of rice, 20 grams of oats. I do 10 grams of unsweetened cocoa powder. There's health benefits with cocoa powder. It also helps decrease appetite. So that's really useful. And then I'll also put in a tablespoon of peanut butter at the end with a scoop of, right now I'm using the banana cream Evogen whey. Again, so this mixes really well, really low calorie, and Plaza10 at checkout if you wanted to order from Evogen. Really good flavors. Banana cream, especially because I'm gonna have 2 bananas within this meal too, mixes really well with the banana cream pie flavor. So I have 2 bananas and I'll just top it at the end with the peanut butter and that kind of thing. So I'm gonna get to cooking now. All right, guys. So here we have the banana cream of rice with the cream and peanut butter. Got crunchy peanut butter in there, and the banana cream isoject from Evogen. I pretty much, with sodium, I use about 1/4 teaspoon of salt in each meal right now. Listen, iodized salt, sea salt, regular salt, doesn't really matter as long as it's iodized. Iodine is a very important nutrient for the conversion of T4 to T3. So is selenium and zinc. So make sure your multivitamins contain those in it. Maybe it has iodine in it too, but use the iodized salt for your meals. I'll use about a little bit under than 1/4 teaspoon per meal with this. But for the cream of rice meal, I will kind of short myself a little bit on that salt and give myself a little bit of Himalayan pink salt on top just for flavor and taste. And yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, guys, so meal 3. This is another kind of like a high carb meal because it's post-workout meal usually. Again, today's rest day, so just following my high carb day. I have 115 grams of plantains in the air fryer right now. Similar to banana, high in potassium, magnesium and stuff, high in electrolytes, so high in fiber, keeps me full. I do like to increase fruits and that kind of stuff when I have higher carb days, and vegetables. But I like to keep my fiber about 35 grams for my about 305 grams of carbs, 260 protein, 50 grams of fat. So throwing in the pan now, about half a can of corn, 125 grams of corn. That'll be my veggie, along with the plantain fruit. And I throw in 7 ounces of Pelican meals pulled chicken. You can use Plaza10 code at checkout. So this is a local owned company. They're in like St. Pete, Clearwater. I believe they have locations in Tampa and Sarasota, like Bradenton area. So check them out. They have really good meals. You can look up the macros, make it fit into your meal plan, or you can order by the pound. Is usually what I do. It's already pre-cooked and everything. So pulled chicken, corn. I'm going to do 100 grams of Pride Foods non-enriched white rice, and then 100 grams of plantain in there, 150 grams of plantain, and that'll be my meal 3. I don't take any supplements with this meal. I do take 2 doses of ephedrine and aspirin with some caffeine throughout the day. And I do one before meal 2, about an hour before meal 2, between meal 1 and meal 2, and then I do one right before meal 3. It's usually when I get right home from the gym. Usually eat this meal and I kind of go for like a walk or something after that, just to help with digestion and move around a little bit. All right, so here's the meal: plantains, chicken, corn, rice, and I'll add some salt to that, about a 1/4 teaspoon, some hot sauce. That's it. At the pool, my mom, my cousin, just chilling for a little bit before my next meal. All right, guys, what's up? So getting meal 4. So yeah, there's my dinner. Just some onion and pepper here. Sauteing that up. I got I'm doing like half steak, half chicken, both. We got the pulled chicken from Pelican Meals. Pulled steak, really good for Pelican Meals. Pretty low fat too. So Plaza10 at checkout. Again, St. Pete location. Tampa Bay, Sarasota area. Clearwater. So you're gonna have this like 4.1 ounces cooked steak, 5.5 ounces pulled chicken, and 150 grams of the Pride Foods non-enriched white rice, and that'll be meal 4. I also have 3 cups of raw spinach, and I'll make that into like a salad. So I'll show you that at the end. All right, guys, so here we have the salad. I'm using like Thousand Island 0-calorie Walden Farms dressing. And then here's the meal. Got rice, Pelican Meals steak, Pelican Meals pulled chicken, and some onions and peppers. And that is meal 4. Moderate carb. It's not too high in carbs. It's pretty filling though, especially with the fats and the steak. So having fats towards the end of the night really helps with hunger. And then in my next meal, I'll show you what I have there as far as fats go and protein and stuff. All right, guys, so I totally forgot to record meal 5 last night, which is my last meal before bed. So I'm gonna put it into the next video, which I'm gonna be recording my push day today. And so at the end of the night, I'll do that meal and you'll see what I have for meal 5. It's just Greek yogurt. I do a mix of like macadamia nuts and mixed nuts like almonds, walnuts, and peanuts and cashews and stuff. So that it's got like some mixed fruit like raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, and I do a banana in there too, and a little bit of whey protein in there. So it's nothing too complicated, but I'll show you that meal at the end for the next video after record push day today. So yeah, and then I'll also in the next video I'll include check-ins from Sunday. It's June 2nd. So we'll include check-ins there. So I'll throw up some pictures so you can see what's going on with prep.